recently decided to support the work of peace studies at the University of Bradford. Where does your interest in international relations in this region, in the Middle East, where does that come from?
Well, as a consequence, in events of the Middle East, especially in the last couple of years, we have to give a good message to the world, and I would concern to the Middle East region and to the conflicts countries such as Iraq, Afghanistan, Egypt, Palestine people, the Arabian Gulf in general. We have to give a good message to live in peace and to give a good future to our new generations, because it's our mission to do that.
In supporting this new position within the Centre for Peace Studies, what benefit do you hope it will bring about, specifically to those students of international relations here at the university?
Well, I would say it's our job to build bridges between the West and the Middle East, especially in this period. I would say that there's a big vacuum between the West and the Middle East, let's say people in general. And I hope that this chair will do something for the people, especially in the academic field.
What in particular about the study of Middle Eastern politics can students in the West learn about conflict resolution?
Well, I would say that the peace studies centers in general can give different messages than the media. The media belongs to, I would say, to big companies, and they are in charge of giving messages to people through their links. And I would say that the universities, as a public sector, must work with the private sector and to support the students, let's say, in their universities, in their researches, and to give them good benefits to let them to success, I mean, their researches and their future, and to have a good life.
You yourself are a successful businessman. May I ask why you've decided to support the University of Bradford in particular, in this particular regard?
Honestly, I don't want to say that I'm a success businessman. I'm a normal person, but I belong to a business family from Saudi Arabia. We do gold and real estate, but the main business, the main family business is gold business since long time. But personally, what I do is real estate back home. And the certain events in the Middle East affected me to follow up these issues, the peace issues, and what we saw, different massacre and different regimes. I would give an example. Unfortunately, what happened in Syria, I think the history won't forgive the Syrian government for their massacre against their people. And I would say that some different regimes, they used to support them. Islam giving people message for peace. And I hope that we can give this message to the people and to let people not to believe anything that they know from media, or if they hear any news, they have to go and and check what's behind it, basically. But in general, we have to live in peace, and I would say again that Islam asked us to live peace with everybody, and forgiveness also, with justice and freedom.
As a donor yourself, what do you think the role of philanthropy is in enabling universities like Bradford to fulfill their mission? In other words, how important is it for people that are able to support universities to actually do so?
Well, as I said in the beginning, it's our mission as a private sector, or I would say as a part from private sector, to support any peace, and I would concern any peace studies. I don't want to be selfish and say only in the Middle East. I would say, and I would love to say in the whole world, but it's kind of big subject. So I preferred to talk about the Middle East, especially the Arabian Gulf region. And we should work in this case to achieve to our goals, to have a good future, I would say, for the new generation, to live in peace and freedom, no wars. Yeah, that's what I would say.
So you're currently a postgraduate student at the University of Staffordshire, studying in international relations.
Yeah.
How important do you think it is that students enter this field of academia?
Well, regarding, first of all, I would say regarding the international relation, I chose this subject to understand what's going on or what's happening in the Middle East region. It's difficult for me to focus in all regimes or in all contacts in the world. So I preferred the Middle East to, I prefer the Middle East because it's a very important area, I would say, or let's say it's a very wealthy place and the eyes on it. So I preferred this issue to give good message also to the people and not to misunderstand what's happening or what's going to happen in the future.
What in particular was your motivation for deciding to donate to the University of Bradford, to the Centre for Peace Studies?
As you know, Bradford Peace Studies Center is the first center in the world for studying peace and researches. And Bradford have a good reputation in this field. And it's the largest peace studies in the world, so I chose Bradford. And I would suggest that if the private sector can invest in this field and work with the public sector to establish different studies, peace studies, or to support the academic researches, to help also the universities financially, especially in this period. We know the situation, some universities, it's not that much. So their goal should be the same goal, and it is the same, is to give good message for their students academically and in their studies.